Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Jason BitBender Brink, and I am here with Benefactor, and we're here for Ahead of the Game. We're doing a tech takeover today, where we're going to talk about all things Gala, GalaChain, Gala Node ecosystem, and all of that. But before we get into that, I just would like to remind everyone to do the like and subscribe and hit the bell and hit the retweet button or the re-X button or the whatever the hell the button is called these days. And get your friends in here because this is going to be some pretty cool stuff. And if you've been a member of the Gala ecosystem for a long time, you're going to be really happy to hear a lot of what we have going on. But before all of that, how are you doing today, Benefactor?
I'm pretty good. I don't have any major complaints, I have to admit.
No major complaints today? Well,
None.
I have some for you. I'll send you a DM and we can have that conversation.
Oh, well, yeah, other people have complaints about me.
Oh,
I'm sure, though, I don't have any complaints for myself.
Well, I didn't say my complaints were about you. I said I had complaints that you can help with. You know, let's put it that way.
I see.
So for all of you who are watching, you can join our Discord at galagames.chat. I have the Gala Gold channel up here. I have, hold on one second, I lost it. I have the YouTube channel up here somewhere as well. So I will be watching both of those chats, and yeah, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be fun. Okay, so the basic run of show, the way that this is typically goes is we talk about game updates and all of that, but we're not going to talk about game updates first. We're going to talk about some of this tech stuff, and then we're going to have an interview, and then we're going to go into the game updates. So, Eric, the first thing that I would like to do you mind if I do a couple quick business updates on the ecosystem?
Sure, go right ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing super important for people. People have been asking questions about when are our node rewards going to go to GalaChain? When is Treasure Chest migrating to GalaChain? When is all of this stuff happening on GalaChain? And I can say I have had conversations with two separate prices today, and they have both assured me that in the month of November, we will be having the Founders Node token drops to GalaChain and the Treasure Chest migration. Both of these are being tested next week. And if all of that testing goes correctly, then that should happen within this month. And along with that, there is a large backlog of NFT items for Gala Founders Node operators that is part of the Node distro that will be going out. And when that goes out, it is going to be a heavy drop. So make sure that you keep your nodes up and running, because that is going to be something that you will probably want to get in on.
Well, good thing that Wright and I are not running our nodes for that drop.
It is a good thing that you guys are not running your nodes. As a person who is running a much smaller number of nodes, I appreciate that. As does, I think, everybody who is listening. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk about very briefly is some of this stuff we got going on with GalaChain. Eric, how excited are you about GalaChain?
I mean, I don't know if of all the things that we're doing, literally GalaChain is the thing that excites me the most. So maximum excitement. Can I say that? Maximum
excitement. Only if you can do it in the announcer voice. So it looks like you're playing, that, what was that?
Maximum excitement.
No. That one. Perfect. So one of the things, and I've been talking to a lot of different people about a lot of GalaChain related things. You know, I've been on calls with people all week. You've been seeing them show up in my little list of people that I'm talking to and whatnot, and my crazy ass schedule of meetings. One of the things that people...
Well, pause.
Sure.
Please, just one second. Are you trying to leak something by having us talk like this? Is that a leak? Because we're not supposed to talk. We're not supposed to talk about that yet.
Are there any leaks in this building, Good Paul? Do we have a leak? Oh, Good Paul can't show the leak yet. There's a leak for later, apparently. There's a leak image apparently that will be leaked later. So you'll like this one, Eric. It's a good leak. But in all of these conversations, the thing that comes across most is that people have thought of Gala for a long time as being something that is primarily a metaverse token or just a gaming token or even at best an entertainment token, but they don't really understand sort of the scope of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so this is what I wanted to talk about today, and what I've been talking about is helping people understand what it really means to have an L1 and what we're able to do with that and how it can be used in ways that people have not previously seen. So let's talk about chain and node a little bit as a service and as a thing that we are opening for other people to come in and build on.
Okay. I think it's worth pointing out and mentioning that when you and I were originally talking about this, like so many years ago,
it's been a while.
One of the things that we talked about was how there was basically nothing out there that was able to do what we wanted it to do.
Which is why we ended up on Ethereum, which is garbage.
Well, I mean, there was places that we could go, like Ethereum, that could get part of this done, but we immediately ran into problems, right? And then there's other protocols out there that do another piece of this, but not the whole thing. And we at Gala, I think this has been something that we've been pretty good about. I think there'll be some people out there who object to this next statement, probably for good reason. But let me just say, for the most part, we do first before we talk about it. And so,
and this is certainly the case here.
Yeah, 100%. We have tested this out now on the game side, on the film side, and the music side. This product does what we need it to do. And now it was always our vision to let other people use it, but it needed to really actually work, right? It needed to be more than just hype. It needed to be more than just some, transaction per second in a perfect environment.
How many zeros can you write at once with nothing else happening, right?
Right, exactly. It needed something that could actually, work in a real environment. And so, this has been a long time coming for us, but it's never been about just a game token or, whatever people are thinking about. This Gala has always was meant to be the driver of an entire ecosystem, the foundation of the whole ecosystem.
Correct. And so now, as we're a couple days past the 1-year anniversary of GalaChain going live, which I think a lot of people didn't even know happened, and we have an ecosystem that is growing like crazy, and we have a huge amount of the decentralized internet as a whole that is being referenced and routed by our Founders Node ecosystem. We're at a really interesting point in time.
Jason, that's such an interesting point that I don't think a lot of people really talk about. The fact that we basically run the decentralized internet, that it is Gala.
Well, we don't. They do.
Well, you mean the Gala
all of the Founders Node operators? Yeah, all of us together are the ones that run that, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal to see, the amount of the DHT tables that run IPFS that are supported by this. I actually wanted to do a screen share on that. I wonder.
You should show that IPFS chart.
Sure.
When Wright and I turned off our nodes.
I can show that right now, actually. Hold on one second. Let me do this. If I do this, give me just a second.
I was genuinely worried about the IPFS network when we decided to turn off.
It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. Okay, so one second, I'm switching to studio mode here so I don't accidentally yeet myself all over the place. If I go to web demo, no, that is the wrong thing. Okay, give me just a second to get this sorted out, guys. But yes, it's a massively, impressively cool thing. Did I turn it off? I think I accidentally turned it off.
I think the thing about what we've done it's there's so much actual like awesome technical innovation that's happened over the last several years in what we're building. One of the things that I think is, I'm actually kind of proud of this. I
You should
feel
be,
like
man.
we build better products than we market those products.
We absolutely do. Okay, can you do me a one up, Paul? Okay, stinger to transition, guys. Okay, you guys can see this now, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you can.
Totally.
Great. Okay, so here, this is, made the screen too big. Oh, it's not letting me change it. Anyway, this is the IPFS DHT table from probelab.io. I'll drop this in the chat really quick. I'll actually go do that in a second. But the thing that I wanted to talk about is this down here. So DHT tables are essentially the thing, you think of it as a gigantic phone book that tells everybody where to look to find stuff on IPFS. Okay. These are the DHT server software that is out there running. Kubo right here, this is mostly the Gala Founders nodes. There's 25.1 thousand Gala Founders nodes out there operational. And most of these, or all of these rather, well, most of these are that. I don't know that there aren't a couple more running Kubo, but most of these are the Gala Founders nodes. This is a log graph. Okay, so the next highest one is 3600, followed by 600, followed by 200, all the way down to ones and twos. Okay, so basically the TLDR on this is that the Gala Founders node ecosystem is essentially supporting better than 85% of the IPFS DHT tables out there. So in no small way, IPFS very much depends on all of you running Founders nodes. So congratulations. Thank you for supporting the decentralized internet. Now, the crazy thing that Eric was just talking about is when things went offline. That is right there. Okay, that's number of nodes leaving the ecosystem. You can also see it right here. So that's Eric and Wright having nodes offline. So you can actually see that number there as well. So that's a lot. There is a tremendous amount of power in the Founders node ecosystem. And I'm going to, let's do the stinger again, Paul. And then there we go. So now we're back to normal mode. But that's the thing that I really wanted to talk about is the power of the ecosystem in that regard, and the fact that every single person in Web3 that is doing something that is connected in some way, shape, or form to IPFS is leaning on the Gala Founders node ecosystem, which is profoundly powerful. Wouldn't it be cool, Eric, if other people could come and use the GalaChain ecosystem and the Gala node network to essentially set up their own workloads?
Absolutely. I mean, it was the original vision behind what we were doing. I mean, the only reason we decided to do all the things that we've done was because no one else was doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many scams were out there? If we relied upon the rest of the crypto industry to like actually build real products, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true.
Right. And I think we probably could name them all on two hands.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more, but out of the thousands that showed up to try to, do a bit of a cash grab, hardly any of them are, and hardly any of them are gonna last. A lot of them have left already.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it was always the intent to bring other people on board and let them use it.
So this is what's happening. Now, the thing that we want to announce today, and the thing that we're talking about in a tech takeover here, is the fact that GalaChain is now getting to the point where we can begin opening it up for other people to start building on the ecosystem. Now
we had to break it several times ourselves, right? We had to DDoS ourselves. We had to, I think what's been really fun is that the individual products on GalaChain are insulated from each other. So Spider Tanks can break its chain, but it does not break Legacy, or it does not break Champions Arena.
Now, that is not also to imply that the Spider Tank's chain has been broken. It has not, just to be super clear. But if there was another project on board and it did something that it wasn't supposed to do, it wouldn't impact any of the others, and it wouldn't impact the main channel. And that's a very, very important thing.
I mean, let's be honest. We have seen some of our channels spike in usage.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because somebody decided to
deploy some bad chain code that was inefficient, and and that's just, by the way, guys, that's what gas is for. That's why you have gas in channels, because you want to make sure that there is a penalty for people running bad code, essentially.
So you don't allow people to DDoS your network.
Exactly. So right now, starting this month, we're having the very first GalaChain hackathon. It is a hackathon being driven by a lot of engineers within our company, and we're also bringing in a few people from the community. Some of your favorite people out there that have been building some pretty cool stuff are going to be in the GalaChain hackathon this month. Super excited about that. And then there's going to be another more open hackathon pretty soon after that. And so we have a tremendous amount of progress stacked up. And this week, in fact, I think it might actually be live right now, but the GalaChain website is going to be going live. And this will include a lot more introductory information on what GalaChain is, how to use GalaChain, what people will be able to do with that, and how to get involved, as well as what the benefits of operating with GalaChain are. And I'm super excited about it.
Jace, what we should do? Since one thing people are going to ask is, hey, is there an Explorer? And the answer to that question is kinda. But the cool thing is I think we've figured out that other people can build their own Explorer if they want to, right?
So that's a really good point, because I actually just had. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I have another idea. What if we said there was an award for the first person to build an acceptable Explorer? Or we could do a node network vote on whose Explorer is the best, and then we could do like a first, second, and third prize kind of a thing.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it. What I'm going to put you on the spot here. What are we putting up?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking first prize could be like 1 million Gala or something like that.
I think first prize needs to be a founder's node.
Ooh, those are pricey.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Yeah. Second place, 1 million Gala. I don't know.
Yeah, second place, 1 million Gala. That sounds good.
Or maybe they could take their pick: 1 million Gala or a founder's node. The first place gets to choose.
Okay.
And then third place is, what do you want to say, 250,000 Gala or something like that?
Yeah, we'll work out a prize table that makes sense. But I think that's a good thing, because I was actually just talking to the engineers this morning, and they're just about ready to make that endpoint available that everybody can start playing with. So I think that we should kick off a hackathon, essentially specifically for the Explorer.
Okay.
So
are those sound effects that I'm hearing?
They're not sound effects. They're a small person wearing rainbow footy pajamas that has just come into my office. 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm going to hand this one back to my wife.
That's the best thing about having kids. I'm gonna look at Gala Gold.
Sorry about that, guys. Yes, Gala Gold.
I don't see any
Subspace forgot that ahead of the game started early. This is the normal ahead of the game starting time now. Okay, guys. Yeah, so that's no. I haven't talked about EOE launching yet. Game updates are coming after after this, and yes, we would love an explorer like Etherscan. I think that would be a ton of fun for people, and they would have fun playing with it. So we can get that endpoint revealed to people, and then you guys can start building.
But I think it's worth mentioning, and we should maybe explain to people a little bit about the significance of what's already happening on GalaChain.
Yes,
because I think not a lot of people really get it, or there's just so much happening. Maybe they don't see the significance of it at all. But just if you look at just the games that are already operating on GalaChain and the music ecosystem that's operating on that, and then as you've said, the entire founder node network is going to be operating on GalaChain. All of that already is quite a lot. Like it's really significant. And if anything on any of those products takes off, it represents a really significant moment for the utility of Gala, but it also represents a really significant moment for the blockchain industry as a whole. Everything that we've been doing up until now has been to try to find a way to engineer a mass adoption moment.
Yeah.
And it's coming. It's like I just had an interesting conversation with the director, Chuck, who's doing Witchboard. And you've seen part of his movie. You know what's coming. I mean,
I do.
This movie, with the actor strike and everything else, there's going to be this window of time coming up where there's basically no movies being released because you can't work on anything. And then we're going to drop Witchboard right into that window of time. And it's a good movie with a great cast. And it's going to be on GalaChain, guys.
So,
like, I feel like it's so significant. People should just be going like, "Oh my god!"
I think that there's a little bit of depending on people in the space are very used to sort of hearing things, and it just sort of floats over them a lot of times. But I think that
they've heard the hype before.
They've heard the hype, but the thing is this isn't hype. This is actually a thing that exists and is happening. Free asked a good question here in Gala Gold. He says, I would like to know, besides the use cases for gaming, film, and music, what can Gala Layer 1 tech do? What advantages does having so much IPFS power give? What outside use cases for that? Okay, so there's a couple questions here. And I'm going to kind of answer them, mix the order up a little bit. What advantage does having so much IPFS power give? That by itself doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. All by itself. All that it does is demonstrate the scale. Okay, I use that not because having all of the DHT routing tables running through Gala founders nodes is a thing that we're going to do something with, other than the fact that what it says is that we have the ability to, if we want to, deploy essentially a parallel network and run all of our basically run our own pinning service for all of our content across everything. Now that's really powerful all by itself, because it means that nodes then at that point in time can actually serve as the points in a DCDN where when content is queried, all of the nodes know exactly where to point people for that content. Now that's really, really, really important for things like film and music. Okay.
Well,
when
you just threw out a word that, again, I think if people were paying very close attention, they would go, "Holy shit! Okay, I'm starting to see the vision here. It's so much more massive than people realize." So yes. You said the word DCDN.
Yes, I did. My bad. I should explain that. Go ahead, though. Take it.
Well, okay. You probably should explain what it means, but for those who do know what it means, it's massive. Like,
yeah,
like AWS level massive.
So DCDN stands for Distributed Content Delivery Network. Okay. Now, what that means is this: is every single one of you has a TV with Netflix, or pick a thing on it, pick a service. If you were to use Netflix, and actually you can look this up because Netflix has published business cases that have exactly how their infrastructure basically works. When you want to watch a thing on Netflix, okay, you turn on your TV, you go to Netflix. Netflix, then you're pinging a server. Netflix pings back and says, hey, these are the general things that you could watch. You select one of them. My wife and I just finished watching Bodies. It was an amazing series on Netflix. I highly recommend it for anyone who likes time paradoxes. So you say, I want to watch Bodies. Bodies, then your TV pings back to Netflix. Netflix looks at the servers that are the closest ones to you in terms of latency. And typically these are servers that are actually hosted at your ISP, and says, okay, this is the place that you need to get that from. It tells that server to prepare that content, get it all queued up, and then pings you back and says, with a routing address that says, this is where you go to get that content. This is what is operating right now on the Gala Founders Node ecosystem. So that's profoundly powerful, especially when you look at the use cases for film and music. But the layer one tech, and this is really important, is that when we first started looking at building our own L1, okay, the reason we didn't go with any of the ones that are out there is because they'd fall over and die if we tried to do what actually needed to be done with them. Okay, Mark Skaggs, COO of Gala, was the creator of Farmville, right? Farmville back in the day, which was you're familiar with Farmville. You remember that company, Eric? Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I kind of recall that.
I kind of recall it. So thing, some Z, started with a Z or something. So that Farmville 2 actually topped out at 134 million DAU. Okay. If you were to throw 134 million DAU at any blockchain, it would catch on fire and burn down and die. Okay, so we started with that as essentially a design specification. Like, unless a blockchain can handle Web 2 numbers of users, it's useless to us. And I mean, most of the other L1s and L2s out there, you have some game that has, a few thousand DAU or a few thousand concurrent, hitting it, and it breaks down, it dies. And so this is obviously a problem. And so this is where we started, not because necessarily gaming is the best use case, okay, which it is a fantastic use case, but because if you can handle the transactions to handle mass users in a game, then you can handle transactions for a lot of other things as well. And so if you wanted to look at, blockchain, you want to use it for logistics, you want to use it for medicine, you want to use it for manufacturing, you want to use it for whatever you want, anything that is a Web 2 business that has anything to do with data or storage or transactions or tracking, it is perfect for. And our website, when it releases here, it's going to have some of those use cases mentioned, and then we're going to have deeper dive case studies that go into each of them and exactly how these things work. Okay, sorry. Excuse me.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
So what happens when some of the large companies that have been talking to us about hosting their content on the founder nodes ecosystem or some other node infrastructure that is operating on GalaChain starts doing that, and people's bills start dropping drastically because they're saving so much money, and now they have to start paying their hosting bills in Gala, right? Because it needs, obviously, and that's not free, but maybe it's a lot less expensive than going to some other very expensive third-party cloud, operator.
Or maybe they decide to deploy their own node ecosystem. So they spin up their own channel, and they deploy their own node ecosystem on GalaChain. with the Gala ecosystem. This is what this was very, very profound to me as I've been talking to these companies. So just so you guys know, most of the conversations I've been having this week, and why I'm not always hanging out in Discord as much, as I've been talking to VCs to get GalaChain and the Gala ecosystem into their deal flow for their portfolio companies. We're working very, very hard to get this in front of people because it provides an opportunity that companies don't have. With GalaChain and with the Gala ecosystem and the ability to spin up your own node ecosystem, you can have a brand new company out of the gate deciding to decentralize and distribute whatever their central processes are that they've been, working with centralized providers sort of from day one. This is what we're beginning to put forward. And they can give these nodes out to people, or they can decide to sell those nodes however they want to handle it. It's entirely up to them. And it doesn't have much to do with us at all. Right now,
except that it all requires Gala as
that is
the fundamental gas.
True. And so this is how this works across the ecosystem. And this is what we're very, very, very excited to bring into all of this today. And I can't wait to show you guys more and get those developer documents out.
I mean, just looking at I think our first major third-party application on GalaChain is about to get launched, right? Rep is going to be one of the, you never know with a product whether it's going to take off or not, right? So, I can't say for sure what's going to happen, but what I saw yesterday looks really good, really clean. I think there's always going to have to be improvements, but it's a really good competitor to what's already out there. It's going to be very familiar, I think, for people. People are going to instantly know how to use it, and it's all on GalaChain.
I'm super excited about it. So those are some of the things that I wanted to talk about. What questions do you guys have?
Yeah. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I'm sure there's questions.
So people keep talking about it in Gala Gold. Like for example, Subspace is saying, if we can get Sony on board, it would be huge. Well, you're right. That would be huge. If we could get any major media operation to join GalaChain, that would be huge.
Yeah.
And that's happening. I'm not saying Sony is happening, but you're going to see pretty soon a massive media company joining GalaChain.
I'm not going to talk about any of that. I don't want to.
No, we can't talk about it yet.
I'll let you do that. Smiling Monster says you lost weight, and so congratulations. Good job.
Thanks.
Let's see. What do we got? NFT Chuck wants to start a company called Geary and put it on GalaChain. Yes, go ahead. Absolutely. Let's see. Free is worried about Rep becoming the next Silk Road, if he's being honest. I think it's an interesting thought.
Why would that be a Silk Road, though?
I don't think it would be, and obviously we don't want to.
Because people are going to use it to sell things?
I think that's the thing. I get it. You want content on IPFS to be equal or greater than peer-to-peer. I mean, to a certain extent, though. I mean, that is kind of what this is it's a peer-to-peer network that is hosting everything. Cool says, with a DCDN, if they make and save money, then they have to use it due to fiduciary responsibilities.
That's a good point.
When did GalaChain really start to be developed? This is from the Zorro Gala. This happened several years ago now, and it is really ramped up over the last 2 years. We had a little bit of a false start originally and kind of built some stuff, then had to kind of throw it all away and rebuild it again. And so that's actually one of the things that led to some of these delays. But now it's out there, it's rocking, and it's going very, very well. Okay. Oh, Free says no KYC and you can pay people via treasure chest, so no data tracking. All of that stuff's still on chain though, man. So, you know, I mean, that's the thing, is it's on chain. Anyone who's trying to do something sketchy really shouldn't do it on a blockchain.
I know that seems kind of silly, right? Like, if you're going to be a criminal, do you want a permanent record of all your criminal activity?
Yeah, that's not good.
I can just imagine law enforcement agencies mining. I mean, they're already mining this data. Like,
of course they are. Of course they are. Dirty Dan, trying to understand this. I'm assuming is this being channels, I think, the equivalent of subnets on AVAX. There are some similarities, but not a direct comparison. Scaling, I think, works a little bit better here. Okay, May 2022. BitBender just corrected that. It was a while ago. It was earlier than that. I think that.
Are you talking about when we started?
Yeah, when we started working on this would have been like late 2020, early 2021, maybe. I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah, it's been going for a while.
We were kicking things around. Tofu keeps putting in add GalaChain functions and commands into Godot so any developer can easily plug into the GalaChain network. Godot is open source, so GalaChain could add this. Warren M has decided to pick it up. I think that would be a cool thing. How fast will the GalaChain user be live to provide information to users? How long are we talking from now? I hold on, actually, let me double check something really quick.
There's a lot of information already available.
There's a ton out there. You can, if you go to chain.gala.com, there's a type form that you can enter. The website's going to be live there. I'm guessing by tomorrow.
You also have that one pager.
Yes, I will drop the one pager into the chat after this is all done, so that people can play with it and check it out. But the whole website is going live soon. What else do you have? I'm in YouTube now. Are any new games joining the Gala platform that you guys could leak? Not that we can leak right now, but there is. We've done 3 games in 3 months, guys. Our integration team is working well, and we had a great meeting the other day that absolutely drove that fact home, where our integration team just talked about what it took to get those 3 out, and there's a lot more coming down the pipe there. Does the one pager have the big company? No, it does not. The one pager does not have any names. Any public APIs for the chain? Yes, those will be out here shortly. There will definitely be public APIs. And in fact, we launched just now, Benefactor and I, a little hackathon where the winner gets to choose between a founder's node or a million Gala. So we'll see how that goes. Will migration be free if it is in the treasure chest? The migration to the treasure chest is going to go from treasure chest to mint allowance. And so that's just going to happen. It's going to be an automatic thing. When you decide to actually mint it is still going to be up to you. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the community, Eric?
You know, I think the only other thing is worth mentioning is that we are building or have built something that I believe is comparable to the Polygons and Matic, the Solanas.
it's a bit bigger than that, honestly. Like, to be honest,
I'm trying to be generous.
Okay,
You know
be
what I
nice.
mean?
I'm sorry. You be nice. I'll sit here.
Of course, I think ours is better, right? Um, but this is the level that we're operating at here. Like we built something incredibly serious. We built something that's meant to be operating at that level and way beyond. And now is the moment that everyone gets to learn that that's what we've done. We didn't just put a video game on a blockchain. We built an entire blockchain that's meant for video games and music and film and social media and right. It's designed to be everything that we all hoped would be the case 3 years ago when everyone was jumping into crypto.
Yeah. So I just want to hit on that point. Yes, this is absolutely something that is massive, and I want to drive a point home for Tofu. Solana just announced 1 million transactions per second. Nothing against Solana. Solana is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. 1 million transactions per second is just a question of horizontal scaling. What are you going to run and how many things are you going to run across it? GalaChain can also do 1 million transactions per second. We just have to scale it horizontally to the point where it can do 1 million transactions per second. That by itself is not a feat. Those are vanity metrics, okay? And you see this in the space a lot. Okay, and I made a joke about it earlier with Eric. Is how many zeros can you write at once? You can do 1 million empty transactions in no time. Okay, can you do 1 million transactions that have business logic with hundreds of calls in them? You're going to be hard pressed to do that on Solana. You can do that on GalaChain. So, there you go.
I mean, I suppose we should just go and do 1 million transactions a second, just so that
we should just to do 1 million transactions per second, so we could be like, oh my god, okay,
we've done it. All right, moving on. Yeah,
there you go. Infinite. I like the infinity symbol there, Smiling Monster. What is the GalaChain name going to be? GalaChain.
Someone's asking us about Flare. I don't know. Has Flare been doing
I still talk to Hugo every once in a while. They are doing some cool stuff. We're at the point in time where we're and I just posted this in a chat like 3 hours ago to you, Eric, where we're beginning to scale up different bridges, so that as companies come in and start building on GalaChain, then it's very easy for them to bridge out to wherever they want to be, whatever their preferred ecosystem is. That's one of the great things about this, is that if a company comes and decides to deploy a node network with GalaChain, okay, they set up a channel, they deploy a node network. This costs Gala as gas for the entire transaction from the setting up the channel to the deploying of the nodes. They deploy that node network. They can then sell those nodes to their users, or they can give them away to users, however they want to do it. They're their nodes, okay? They can use that either just as a way to reduce expenditures by putting content on these nodes, or by using them to handle computational workloads, or do rendering, or do whatever you want. Okay, it's their thing. Basically, anything that can be put into a Docker container can be run on a node as a node workload. Then they're able to take that, push that out across their entire network, and in the background, all of the stuff that's happening on those nodes is being tracked on GalaChain, and then they can ping the minting API and mint their rewards on whatever chain that they want. That doesn't have to happen on GalaChain. And this makes it so it's very easy for somebody to come from Binance Smart Chain and do something, deploy a node network on GalaChain, and then continue operating within their ecosystem. So we see ourselves as being chain agnostic for people who want to stay in whatever their environment is, but very opening to allow people to come over and build on what we've got going on.
Yeah, I love that idea, actually, that people might use multiple chains. There's a lot of cross promotion opportunities there.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And Tyrion says it'd be better to revise the description of Gala on some websites as awareness of Gala in many places stuck in 2021. You are exactly right, and that is the thing that we are doing right now. And that's part of this effort, is to reach out to all of those websites. We're already talking to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and as soon as this documentation is released, we have intentions to be moved from being a game and metaverse token to being an L1. So that people understand really what we've got going on, and then reaching out to every single website that talks about Gala and updating that. We are proactively handling these conversations. So look for updates on websites near you.
Someone asked, are we going to be able to send Gala directly to a centralized exchange from GalaChain? And I believe, without naming any specific centralized exchanges, you've been having some conversations, Jason, haven't you?
We have been having several conversations, so that's definitely something that we would like to see happen in the future.
What's fun about that is these conversations are happening inbound, so they're coming to you to talk to you about it, as opposed to us going to them and asking about it. Which,
yeah, absolutely. Murphy Gray says in the YouTube chat, TPS marketing is so 2019. I totally agree. And this is one of those things that I think, along with the greenness of your chain, like how green is your chain, most chains out there, unless you're literally still Bitcoin, are fairly green. And so it's one of those things that you don't really need to say, but you do need to say, because there are still people who don't understand what's going on that are still looking for it. RTS Gamer says, are only the questions answered from Twitch? No, they're answered from YouTube too, but most of the questions I'm taking are from the Gala Gold chat in Discord, which you can see at, if I push the button, it's not going to show up on screen, but at galagames.chat.
Oh, I do have a little bit of a leak I can share.
Oh, no.
One's good. This one's good. So it was inspired by something I just read in Gala Gold. A certain founder of Gala, who has been having some legal issues, recently had a bit of a win for himself. Mr. Wright Thurston was dismissed from that SEC case.
Oh, was he?
Now,
good for him.
He was, yeah. So that means that there's nobody on the Gala cap table currently being sued by the SEC. Now, that doesn't mean his company is going to make it. Who knows? No one can't predict these things, but at least he himself is not named in the lawsuit anymore. Well, it's a good thing for us.
That is a good thing,
because we don't need that hanging around our neck as a weight.
Can I answer a semi-technical question from Teleport Labs in YouTube?
Yeah, of course.
So Teleport Labs says, can you give examples as to what type of transactions will definitely require Gala to be processed? So there's a couple things here. Transactions requiring Gala to be processed are based on a few different things. They're based on the weight of the transaction. Okay, so how computationally complex it is. It's based on the average transactions that a user makes, and they're based on the average transactions in a channel. Okay, with various other, there's a few other little factors in there, but those are the main three pieces. And so what that essentially means is that if you're a gamer, and let's say you're playing the Walking Dead Empires, you're playing Tweety, right? And you are making transactions, and those transactions are in line with what all of the other gamers in that channel are doing, okay? Then you will really not have any gas fees that you have to pay, okay? But if you begin and that excludes bridging fees that you always have to pay, because there's always a fee on the other side, typically speaking. But if you start to grief the chain, if the numbers of transactions that you use are going way above the average for that channel, because different channels have different numbers of transactions, right? Spider Tanks, the channel in Spider Tanks, for example, has a ton of transactions, whereas the channel for Gala Music has fewer, relatively speaking. So something like that, as long as you're within sort of the average for that channel, not really any gas fees. As that ramps up, then you start having to pay gas fees. So that's essentially how it works, and that's across channels, but it's based on the weight of those transactions as well. So if you're just doing normal stuff in a game, shouldn't impact you. If you're doing fancy stuff, deploying your own smart contracts, opening channels, deploying nodes, all of those things, then there will be more gas fees attached to that. What's the ETA on Miranda's? I'm out of the loop. I don't think we're allowed to give an ETA. I can't stop you from giving any ETAs, though, Eric. I don't know if.
Well, I do know that there's something coming.
I do know that there's something coming.
We have a sort of a new kind of vision for what that kind of looks like for games. So I know that both Tweety and Miranda's, once you can play them again, you will always be able to play them. You know, it's not what we would call a launch per se, but a persistent alpha, maybe. Maybe there's, I think Tweety has another name for it.
Yeah, they do. What did they call it?
I think development build, maybe, or something.
Development build or persistent playtest, I think, was the
public
phrase.
Yeah, but basically what it means is that your progress, at least on your characters, is not going to be wiped. Your town might get wiped, but you'll be able to keep playing it. So it's going to be part of our transparent development process. And both Tweety.
Public development build, says Doug Sunny. Thank you, Doug Sunny.
Yeah. And so that'll be true for Miranda's as well once that goes live.
Liger,
and I think we're gonna do the same thing with Last Expedition. No, yeah, that's happening as well, right?
Well, Last Expedition you can play right now.
Yeah.
The Zorro Gala. BitBender will probably kill me for this question. Who eats more pizza, Benefactor or BitBender? Actually, weirdly, him. I think I really don't eat a lot. It's freaking irritating.
Well, yeah, we had pizza the last time we were together.
I had one
and
pizza.
I think I did have more pizza than you.
Yeah, you know? It's really frustrating.
You eat a shockingly small amount of food for
so irritating.
The size of your humanity.
Of my humanity. Nice. Liger says, can you confirm the Gala token supply, please? Gala token supply, as of right now, is pulling it up from the API. It's going to be, if you include the roughly 2 billion that's in the labeled wallet on Etherscan, it's going to be around 2.95 or 29.5 billion. Excuse me. Wow, that was fumbling over things. There is a API that has the circulating supply, and that is the thing that is used by everyone. But they don't always take into account the other things that are on chain, because we're operating between two chains. They get a little confused sometimes.
So someone's asking, are we going to allow adult, quote unquote, entertainment on GalaChain? I can tell you this. We ourselves are not going to become adult entertainment providers. That being said,
can I share my OnlyFlans? I like flan. Flan is a great dessert. It's a great dessert, I'm saying.
I've often thought that it doesn't seem to make sense to put porn on a blockchain. I'm not sure why you would, but if for some reason you thought that's a great idea, I can see some advantages to it. I could see, like, you know, I think we know, at least some people do know, that, you know, the porn industry today contains content on it that really shouldn't be there. And so if you were dumb enough to put it on a blockchain, then you're probably dumb enough to get caught too, which would probably be a really, really good thing. So porn on GalaChain, we're not going to do it, but I'm in favor of it, I'll say, because I like the idea of transparency happening there and accountability happening there and a certain kind of permanence happening there, so that there's more protection for the people who are involved. So I think that hopefully that answers your question.
Will Mirandus be the largest test of the network? No, it will not. Founders Node holder wants crypto crafting back, and crypto crafting is a thing that will come back, and it's going to be actually a lot easier on GalaChain once that migration happens. So, yeah. Okay, so that's, I think if we go too much further, I'm not going to be able to get through the game updates and the interview, Eric. So I'm thinking that we'll wrap this and come back to this another day. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, it's fine with me. I think
Cool,
we can wrap it up. Who are you interviewing?
Jakob from the channel. So
that'll be great. I'm going to drop off, then maybe I'll watch.
Okay, sounds good. Then we'll see you guys soon, and let's go to the interview, Paul. Jakob, Rhiannon, how are you guys doing today?
Very well, thanks.
Yep, very well.
Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come and chat with us today. Before we get into all of this and all of the details about GalaChain and the GalaChain ecosystem and all of that, why don't you guys introduce yourselves really quick? Jakob, let's start with you.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, sure. So I'm from Poland, basically, because Gala is a remote-only company. I work from Poland. I'm lead developer of GalaChain, which is our tool for based on Hyperledger Fabric. I work for Gala over 2 years from now, so quite a long time. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Rhiannon, how about you?
Let's see. Going backwards, I started at Gala probably a year and a half ago. So in the Galaverse, that's an eternity. I am a PM for the chain and node teams. And just if you don't know what PM means, as a product manager. And that's me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both for coming in and chatting with us. GalaChain is something that obviously I'm very excited about. We've seen growing over time internally, and now as we're getting to the point where people are starting to get access to this and start building on this, we're sort of changing the way that we talk about things a little bit. For a long time, Gala has been perceived as sort of a metaverse token or a gaming project, and the reality is that what we're doing is a lot bigger than that. So let's talk about that a little bit. What is GalaChain? You want to take that, Jakob?
Sure. GalaChain is our internal tool, our chain based on Hyperledger Fabric we use for all of our games, music, and film. So this is actually a big thing because we basically use it everywhere in our ecosystem, and we had actually an anniversary because we are 1 year on prod. And
that's right, that just passed, didn't it?
Yeah, it was 2 days before or something like this. Yeah, so we managed to have a kind of proven solution we used for a long time, and now we are ready to share it.
So why build a new L1? Why not just build on something that's already out there?
There are various reasons. First is the speed, because we need performance. We need a lot of transactions per second. Second thing is costs, because doing transaction on Ethereum is expensive, and there are some also other factors, like for instance, when you do a transaction on Ethereum, then you need to wait till the transactions is deep enough in the chain to be sure it is there. It is here. For our chain, we have instant proof. It's there. It is called actually absolute finality in blockchain world.
Nice.
So that's why
finality is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we look at scaling, one of the things that I like to talk about is how we sort of started looking at all of this from the perspective of how do we build something that a Web 2 game could credibly use and would actually work for it. Mark Skaggs, as you know, the COO, was one of the original, was the original guy behind Farmville, like way back in the day. Farmville 2, as you guys know, reached 134 million DAU, right, at its peak. 134 million DAU. If you were to throw 134 million DAU at absolutely any chain out there, it would catch on fire and die. And so one of the things that we started from is basically the idea that we need to make something that will actually work for this. And one of the things that I really like about GalaChain is that it has near infinite scalability. And I think that that's something that's extremely important here because, if you can handle the volume necessary for gaming, you can handle the volume necessary for pretty much anything. Logistics, medicine, travel, any of that, any type of data that you want to ship is probably going to fall short of what gaming requires, which I think is really cool. So tell me about EVM compatibility with GalaChain. Is this a thing that you see as being important?
Yep, obviously. I mean, we have bridge, so it is pretty easy to for instance transfer your game token to Ethereum and I don't know, sell it on OpenSea or do basically everything with that. So we are not close to GalaChain only our ecosystem, but you can also transfer your tokens out of it and sell it there.
That's EVM compatibility is important. You got a helper there, Ree?
Working from home has its advantages and disadvantages.
It does, and sometimes those advantages and disadvantages are the same thing, which is amazing.
Are really cute.
Believe me, I have that exact same scenario. They're at music class right now, so. Let's talk a little bit about HLF. Why do you believe that Hyperledger Fabric? We started back talking about Hyperledger Fabric a long time ago, and we've been building on it for a long time. There was some original work done that had to be essentially completely redone at some point in time, and for going forward from that spot, why is Hyperledger Fabric a good direction to go? And Paul, you can just go to 2 up if Reese dropped off. There you go. Thanks, man. Good, Paul.
Okay. So basically, it has a lot of advantages over Ethereum, especially for game. It is, from my perspective, writing business logic on Hyperledger Fabric is far more approachable for a regular developer. Since Solidity for Ethereum has its own constraints, it's basically hard. On Hyperledger Fabric, it is far easier to develop some business logic, which is sometimes required when you want to do some fancy stuff with your tokens. So that's it. Second thing, Hyperledger Fabric is open source, backed by Linux Foundation and Hyperledger Foundation. It is proven, widely used in industry, especially in logistics mainly, or banks, not in games, but it's
not so much in games. One of the things that I really like about Hyperledger Fabric, and when we were first talking about taking Hyperledger Fabric on, there was a little bit of a discussion between various members of our team where some people were saying, we should build on, pick a random L2. And what's really interesting is that not many people know about Hyperledger Fabric, but so many of the things that you use around you actually have Hyperledger Fabric sort of built into their core. If you actually go look at the number of people making commits to the HLF repos on GitHub, it's pretty cool because there's a very, very active community. They're just not as active in talking about it as some of the other L2s are. So that's one of the things I find really cool about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is, proven solution, a few years in the industry, widely used.
Yeah. It's used by Walmart for all of its logistics stuff, which I think is pretty cool. Because Walmart has logistics. Let's talk about the fact that with GalaChain, you're not just sort of getting GalaChain. It's not just a standalone chain only by itself. The ecosystem also has the ability to deploy node workloads and to create nodes as well, for a variety of different reasons. But the main thing that you would want to do with your nodes is to actually reduce your business costs by putting workload on these nodes, whether it's storage or computational or, you know, whatever it happens to be, whether you're doing renders or whether you're you know, just storing documents. You know, the nodes are a really good solution for this. What else can you see nodes as doing, and how do you see them integrating with larger ecosystems?
Well, nodes are our infrastructure. We aside of you know, we use them to serve some in-game assets, but we also slowly moving some features of our chain to nodes. Like the thing that is probably most closely to the release is bridge. Bridge will when you bridge a token out or in, you need a kind of verifiers to prove the transaction, and the whole will be executed as workload on nodes. And we'll see how it goes. In the future, we'll probably delegate even more work from GalaChain to nodes.
For sure. I think that the node ecosystem is one of the things that really makes what we're building stand out. And I'm going to, I love talking about the IPFS connection and tie-in as well. But let's talk a little bit about you know, transactions per second. What are your thoughts there? Because that's always an interesting thing, because you always see these things where people will put out a thing that says, well, you know, our chain does X number of transactions per second, but if you actually go look at it, it's like, how many zeros can I write at once? You know, because they're not shipping transactions with serious payloads. What are your thoughts on transactions per second? You know,
people like compare numbers, so that's why probably this is so popular notion. In fact, for Hyperledger Fabric has a scalability similar to horizontal scalability, and I know there are some networks that have dozens of thousands transactions per second, but it really depends on how on our network topology. So we can basically scale, and this is first thing. Second thing is for Hyperledger Fabric, often you write some more complex business logic on the chain than you usually do for Ethereum. So the number of transactions per second actually depends on how much business logic you will cover in a single transaction. So this is also a kind of factor.
So it's the weight of that transaction to a certain extent.
Yeah, because you can have, you know, just a single transaction that does one single save on chain, or you can have a transaction that has also some business validation, that needs to check multiple objects save on chain and save another bunch of objects. And actually a lot of our games require that kind of complexity, and even with that we can we can deliver enough transactions per second that is usable for games. So yeah, it's hard to, you know.
It's not an apples to apples comparison there. You know, it's always going to be somewhat different because you're working with a fundamentally different tech stack. But the key thing there is that scalability, the fact that can grow as needed to suit whatever the demands happen to be.
Yeah, we are, you know, it's hard to tell the number when you're actually flexible and you can increase it.
Right, right. What is, let's talk about GalaChain for publishers. One of the things that we're beginning to offer right now is a managed end-to-end blockchain solution. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, sure. So we have GalaChain, which is proven for our company. We are sure it works well, it is usable, and now we are open to share it with wider community, other companies, and so on. So GalaChain for publishers is a kind of managed end-to-end blockchain solution in terms of both public SDK to develop on, manage infrastructure. So you will get a bunch of, I don't know, CLI commands to deploy your chain code, and you can develop your chain code with your business logic using our framework we use for over 2 years from now. You will get basic token features out of the box, so you don't need to implement it by yourself. Just use our methods and functions. You will have fees, which is actually a way of basically earning on your solution, because similar to Ethereum, which has a gas which is then distributed to miners, we will have fees which will charge some Gala for transactions in a flexible manner, and you can either burn this Gala or distribute it to another users, to nodes, or I don't know, earn.
I think that's one of the key things there, is that if you are building something on GalaChain, then there's sort of an overall fee structure, okay, that we essentially propose. But then if you would like to put further fees onto that, it is entirely possible for you to do so as a person running a channel on the chain. If you've deployed something for your game and you want to build a fee in to, prevent griefing or whatever it is, then that's something that's relatively easy to do, and that can actually be a profit center for you, or it can be a burn, whichever.
Yeah, it's very flexible.
And then what about bridging? Does bridging come as part of that?
Yeah, obviously. Once we'll publish this managed infrastructure, it also includes bridge. So you can write your chain code, define your tokens, and you have bridge out of the box available.
Very nice. So it should be a fairly simple thing for a developer, whether they be Web 2 or Web 3, to come, stand up a channel, deploy their chain code, set up their tokens, and begin running with it.
Exactly. And
That's
also,
beautiful.
we'll also support kind of testnet and mainnet, so you can easily experiment and then put it to your production.
From a development perspective, what are the tools that we expect to be available here in the near future?
Short term, we are going to deliver a bunch of documentation to start working on GalaChain, a kind of open source SDK which includes some of our internal tools for developing a chain code, basically the whole framework for developing a chain code, and also a kind of local development tools like allowing you to start the network, to iterate on chain codes, and so on. So so this is our short-term and chain code template. So you can just start working with chain code template. Actually, this is the template we use for games. So everything here is battle tested at Gala. We use this tool. We now are making a great effort to make it even more approachable for developers. So this is short term. Kind of midterm, we'll also deliver a CLI to manage your deployments. So it will be fairly easy to integrate publishing your next chain code version either to testnet or mainnet using your CI tool, or just calling a CLI command.
Okay, excellent. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with the community right now?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm pretty excited developing all of it.
I am excited too. This is the coolest stuff. Like, people for the longest time have not realized what's been going on. And guys, I want you all to understand that I know that some of this stuff has been pushed back, it's been delayed, but the wait is worth it. The stuff that is getting ready to come out here, and the abilities that this is going to give people is phenomenal.
Yeah, and you know what? As I said previously, I worked for Gala for over 2 years, and I saw the whole process. Like I remember when we were starting. I remember a year ago when we eventually get to production, and now we are in this moment when we are ready to share it. So this is really great.
Well, awesome, Jakob. Thank you very much for coming and talking with us today. I know it's a little bit late there, so we'll let you go, but we will see you around, and look forward to chatting with you soon, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you, man. Peace out. And I am back, everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that interview. And now, without further ado, we'll head into the rest of Ahead of the Game. And we're going to hit some game updates. And holy crap, we're going to have to do this quickly because we are running out of time. And if I don't go feed children, then I get in all sorts of trouble, and nobody wants that. So but first, before we do that, I have a leak to share with all of you. In fact, it's not me. Good Paul has a leak to share. So Good Paul, what do you have? Oh, that is Good Paul. That is Good Paul with a leak. So thank you very much for sharing, Good Paul. I appreciate it. Everyone wanted to know that Good Paul exists. There you go. You've seen Good Paul and his marvelous leaks. Okay. Good Lord, this is a lot. We have a lot of updates here. Good Paul, you should go change your picture in Discord to that picture so everybody knows. Okay, Legends Reborn, first one that we are going to run through. A fully playable build with all features has returned. The team has resurrected the game and has a version live for currently for internal testing. QA is running over the playable and determining what, if anything, needs to be fixed. There's typically something that needs to be fixed because that's how development goes. But yeah, there is no definitive time for playtest for the community just yet, but that's on the roadmap here pretty soon. And a quick reminder that the team is working on the game now is a bit smaller than before, but is committed to bringing the same level of quality as before. It just may take a little bit longer than we wanted to get there. Working on the economy model, been working very closely with some of the team on that, and Patrick is leaning in pretty heavily on that as well. And the team is focused on getting the Battle Pass features working and 250 cards created. So look forward to some news there. The Walking Dead Empires, I'm super excited about this. The public development build playtest starts next week. Everything is on schedule for a November 8th launch for the next Walking Dead Empires playtest, and this will be a persistent alpha access playtest where some of your progress will be saved. The server may be reset, you may lose some of the things that you've built or crafted or things like that, but your progress on your characters will not be reset. Or shouldn't be reset. The plan is for it not to be reset. I don't want to make a hard promise on that. A preview of the playtest will be streamed on November 4th at 2 p.m. Pacific. Yes, this Saturday, Doug, Sunny, and other members of Gala will be streaming an early peek at the upcoming playtest. I may try to get in on that. We'll see. Check Discord for the local time of the event for you. Legacy. 22 Cans team is working hard at fixing the bugs that have been found. A patch is scheduled to be released this Friday. Stay tuned to the Discord for more information and announcements as that approaches. So that's going to be a cool thing. I've had fun playing with that. Champions Arena. Whoa, that's okay. We can go back to Champions Arena. We're good. Champions Arena, if you've been watching Discord, you may have seen some updates happening to fix the area, fix the arena, and a few other issues. Season 6 has started with the new legendary champions Beatrice and Luddy. Champions Arena, and just so everybody knows, I have been talking to some of the team behind Champions Arena. I'm aware of some of the challenges that people in the community are having, some of the gripes and things like that are out there. Just know that none of this stuff is being missed, and there are a lot of different things that are currently in flight. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer for things to get shipped than we would like, but just know that stuff is moving forward. Okay, Common Ground World. The rewards for the event that ended on October 20th have been sent out. The regularly scheduled town hall is on the books for tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific. Check the Discord for the form to submit your questions ahead of time. I love the pumpkin farmer there. So Common Ground World. It's a one-odd gent special. Very nice. Thank you, good Paul. Common Ground World, they're also working on polishing out the last little bits of the light paper, which you guys saw a couple weeks ago in a read-through. There's going to be a little bit more information added to that. There's going to be a roadmap added to that. And there's going to be a couple things added to it that check off some promises for people who have been keeping track of a few different topics out there. So we're working on making sure that we deliver on some of those promises. And actually, on that note, if you're a member of Gala Gold, please go into the announcement channel in Gala Gold. There is a Google Sheet that you will find that you have the ability to access. So if you have any promises or perceptions that you feel have not been fulfilled, please go enter those in on that sheet so that we can go through them and make sure that we're either explaining what's going on with them or just dealing with them, straight up. And that's something that we're very excited to be able to do. Okay, on to Poker Go Play. Week 9 sweepstakes has been completed and Week 10 is underway. Don't forget to win 15 hands to get your free Common Carl hero card for the Walking Dead Empires. What you're going to see in the future is more and more people more and more projects coming together in this way to make it so that there's something for each other and sometimes some cross utility there. So that's definitely something that you will want to check out. Poker Go Play sessions from last night was a ton of fun. Check out the video. We had special guest Classy Crypto and Lewis King at the table, Louis King rather. Chair Bandit even struck and stole seats from people, which is a very Chair Bandit thing to do. Okay, oh my God. Spider Tanks, huge anniversary celebration is underway. Perfect upgrades have been processed and should have been applied. Contact Hendrickson in the Spider Tanks Discord if you're having any issues. We did a 9-hour stream on Tuesday with multiple giveaways. It was a blast, and we want to send a huge thank you to the community and to all of the members out there for being there and being part of the game. And we hope to see more growth and updates in this area in the future. There is another Spider Squad weekly stream scheduled for Tuesday. Check the Discord for the time and special guests. It will be a regular 1 to 2 hour stream. Okay, 2 more. Oh my God, so many games. Do you guys remember, by the way, just before I dive into Dragon Strike, do you remember when we had just Townstar? And it was just Townstar, and that's all that we had was just Townstar. Holy crap, guys. I've been running my mouth for 25 minutes now about game updates, and we're not done. Dragon Strike. Check out the latest Discord announcements for the description in the description of this video for a link to the latest blog update. The new hero Pala will be released this week, so there are still updates happening to Dragon Strike, and stuff is still going on. I had a really interesting conversation, I'm going to talk about this. This is kind of an interesting thing. So a lot of you guys in the community know that we engage. We engage as much as we can, and a lot of times, people will reach out to us, sometimes thinking that we're not going to respond. but oftentimes we actually do. So earlier this week, I got a message from a community member who was upset that they had been they weren't able to access Dragon Strike. Digging into the issue, you know, I had found, in fact, the Dragon Strike team sent me some of the reasons that they had been banned, and it was because they were saying some stuff in the chat that was a little off. And so I engaged and I talked to this user, and we were able to, you know, come to terms and have a good conversation, and got unbanned, and, you know, is hopefully at this point in time playing. But one of the things that I want to drive home is that if you're having an issue, reaching out in a non-confrontational fashion can be extremely helpful. Just send an email, ask. Our support people do want to help. If you have developed a reputation for being the type of people that screams at people, it's not going to do you any favors when you're looking to get something resolved. And so, you know, just understand that our support people are people too. And, you know, they don't like to be yelled at any more than you do. And if you just have a you know, frank, level conversation without getting emotional or yelling, you'll probably get help. And hopefully we don't have to have situations where people, you know, can't access games because they feel that the only recourse is, you know, yelling in the chat, essentially. So don't do that. Doesn't help anyone. Okay, then on to Get Plugged. There are no big changes or updates right now, although there is a cool sharing feature that I think is coming in here pretty soon. The team is working very hard to allow you to convert your feathers into new chickens to help across the road and across the streams and railways. And if my chickens are to be believed, to run straight into the freaking cactuses, because that's all that they seem to do. My chickens are really terribly suicidal. Okay, guys, so that is what I have for updates. We are almost at time, so I'm just going to check the chat really quick, see if there is anything there that... Here, Tyrion says, everything you say is already published, nothing new. Well, no, that's not actually true. A lot of what I said wasn't published, and the whole point here is to give everyone a general update of what's happening in the ecosystem. So some of that stuff is, yes, of course, already out there, but definitely not all of it. Let's see. What do we have? Okay, EOE. I actually have the brand new test build for Echoes of Empire. I was just handed that today. So I'm going to make sure that I hop in there, and maybe I can hop in and stream that. I think I can stream that. I think I'm allowed to stream that, right? I should be allowed to stream that, right, Paul? I think Paul gives me permission. He says it's fine. And then let me hop over to the YouTubes really quick and see what we have going on. Nope, that is not the right YouTube window. That's where the random trance music is playing. Aha! Chaining things together. Okay, Mirandus. Let's see. Comment on FTX. No idea what's going on there. And aha, Fortitude. Fortitudes from Joe Manzano. There is some movement there, guys. Just so you know, there is definitely movement. So, you know, chill, and you will definitely see something there. Legacy on Steam or Epic, not at the moment. Yeah, there we go. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and button it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining and for hanging out with me and with Benefactor. Cannot wait to see you all again soon. I may actually not be doing this stream next week. Somebody is going to do it, but it's probably not going to be me, because I'm going to be going somewhere and I may not have access to good. No, not week. Are you sure? Damn it. I am going to be here next week. Week after next, I'm not going to be doing it. Oh, man. I just got pushed back again. I had all of this mental. Oh, it's just like way worse than discovering that you think it's a Friday and it's actually a Monday. Oh, sad face. Okay. Anyway, guys, I will see you next week. It's the week after next. I will not. And I may have some other fun guests on next week. So thank you guys so much. And BitBender out. Peace.